It's now finally official. After 1 year of takeover drama, Sir Jim Ratcliffe has won the race. He's going to get 25% of the Class A shares, which is from the New York Stock Exchange, and 25% Class B shares, which is directly from the Glazers. This means that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is the single largest stakeholder of Manchester United. But that's my biggest issue with this. In this takeover process, there is no guarantee that Sir Jim can buy the full Manchester United club. There is an option to increase his shares, but there's no obligation on the Glazers to sell it all to him. This shows that once again, the parasites, which are the Glazers, have got what they wanted. They get to keep the majority ownership, they get more investment into the club, and they pocket 500 million from this deal, which is not going to the club, which is going directly into their pockets. This shows the greed of Glazers, and this shows that they have zero concern for the fans, and they will do whatever is in their best interest. What I haven't liked about the Sir Jim Ratcliffe bid is that he's been lying from the start. Not lying, but it's not been clear. When he first entered it, he wanted at least 51%. He wanted a majority stake, but he didn't have money for that. Then he went for 25% with a guaranteed full ownership. That didn't happen. Now it's just 25% with full football operations. Even though it's something in the right direction, I don't like how he went back on his promises. But let's not focus on just the negatives. There are positives from this as well. In the deal, it's mentioned that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has to invest 300 million into the club infrastructures. But the problem with this is that 300 million is too less for a club renovation, because that takes a lot more. So what I believe is that this 200 and plus 100 million are probably going to go into repair and minor upgrades to the facilities or just stadium repairs. The biggest talking point from this takeover process has been the taking away of football operations from the Glazers. Since 2013, this is the first time that the Glazers are stepping away from football decisions, which is great news. Because you can see the moment they took over the football operations, our club has been in decline. It's been reported that Sir Dave Brailsford and Jean-Claude Blanc will be joining the Manchester United UK board, and 2 INEOS members will be joining the PLC board, which is the New York Stock Exchange board. What I like about this is that we're finally getting people with sports expertise in the boardroom. If you don't know who Jean-Claude Blanc is, check out the link above. I have made a video on him explaining his early career and his part in reviving Juventus and managing PSG. Jean-Claude Blanc is going to start as the CEO, and there are reports that either Paul Mitchell or Dan Ashworth, or maybe both, are going to join as directors. Not only this, there's report that we are going to change the whole backroom staff, including scouting, medics, everything. If you have liked my videos so far, then I would really appreciate if you can click on the like button below and let me know what you think about this Sir Jim Ratcliffe takeover. These are all good changes, but my biggest issue is the Glazers remaining at the club. Because what this means is Sir Jim Ratcliffe and INEOS takes over the footballing side, whereas the Glazers stay in charge of the economic side. This means that whatever happens from now on, if we lose trophies, if we finish 10th in the next few seasons, the Glazers can say it's not a responsibility anymore, it's Sir Jim's fault, blame him. So not only have they drained the club of around $1 billion and put us $1 billion more into debt, now Glazers can continue taking dividends out of this club because that's part of the economic side. Now, if Sir Jim Ratcliffe only has 25% of control and he only has control over the football operations, the question comes, how far can he go with his decisions? How far can he radicalize the club before the Glazers say this is affecting the economic side? You cannot do this. For example, let's say Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants to pay out the contracts of Varane, Casemiro, Rashford, Martial, and just get them out of the club. And the Glazers say, no, you cannot do that because that's going to cost too much money for the club. Stop it. Then what? That's an economic decision. Or is that a football decision? Who's going to decide that? Who has the power to say, do we go with the Glazers or do we go with Sir Jim Ratcliffe? That's the biggest issue, is that even though this is a step in the right direction, how much power do they actually have with the club? How many decisions can they take as far as football decisions go? Because everything in the end is connected to the economic side. Another thing which was not talked about in the press release was, what is Sir Jim Ratcliffe going to do with the debt? Manchester United has a debt of over 1 billion. With the transfers we made in the summer, that was using a credit, temporary money. And even that credit line is now maxed. So, with club in really bad economic situation, which is limiting our budget for more transfers, because the more debt you have, the tighter the FFP is going to be. That's what I've understood at least. So how is Sir Jim going to deal with this? How is Sir Jim going to deal with £1 billion debt? Because that's not been mentioned anywhere. If I'm being honest, I wanted Qatar in. I wanted Sheikh Jassim to win it because of the promises he made. New stadium, fully new stadium, all debt removed, and full ownership of the club. Those are the three things every Manchester United fan wanted. Yes, promises can be broken. Yes, not all of them might have been fulfilled. But we know at least there was some hope of those things happening, because right now, all three of these things aren't going to happen. Full ownership, we have no idea. Debt removal, we have no idea. Full stadium, definitely not going to happen under Sir Jim Ratcliffe. He's probably going to go for renovation. Eric Ten Hag. What's going to happen to Eric Ten Hag now that Sir Jim is here? If you didn't know, when Chelsea sacked Potter, Sir Jim actually wanted him to be the manager of Nice. So now when Eric Ten Hag is performing terribly, is Sir Jim going to make the drastic decision of firing Eric Ten Hag and hiring Potter? The Premier League owners and directors test is going to take around 4 to 6 weeks. So what I would think is, Eric Ten Hag has 4 to 6 weeks or 4 to 8 weeks to prove and get some results. Because if he doesn't, and this losing streak continues, if we continue to play horrible football, then the audit is going to happen. And there's a very good chance that Eric Ten Hag doesn't survive the season. So at the end of the day, this is a step in the right direction, in the fact that football operations are going away from the Glazers. But as long as the Glazers are here, I cannot trust this club. The parasites are gonna ruin this club because they only see it as a cash cow. So my question here is, what is gonna happen in the next few years? Is Sir Jim Ratcliffe, is he an actual true fan of Manchester United and he wants the club to go back to the top, to bring us back to glory? Or is this gonna be a case of Glazers 2.0, where Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Glazers are gonna work together, finish just 4th or inside Europe consistently to increase the value, and then sell it later on to Qatar or someone, and just see Manchester United as a cash cow? Because at the end of the day, Sir Jim is a businessman. If you have liked my video, then I would really appreciate if you can click on the subscribe and like button below. I would love to know your thoughts about the Sir Jim Ratcliffe takeover in the comments on below. And thank you for watching my video. I'll see you all in my next video.